It's always going to be something in life. Something's always going to come up that breaks, that gets dirty, or that you have to replace. It's always something. The older and older you get, the more you will experience this principle. And thus you get burnt out on life, kind of like I did. And that is why we keep it simple. We keep it simple, or I try to remember that, because it is a discipline. It's a discipline to keep it simple because we tend to want to make things more complicated. We tend to want to impress. We tend to want to reward ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with all those things. But what I could tell you is the more you have, the more worries you have, the more responsibilities you have, the more maintenance you have. Today, my windshield cracked on my Jeep Renegade. I have a car. I own the car. So when you own something, you're responsible for something. You have to fix it. You have to maintain it. It's not just the purchase price. Good to see you, Savat and Tom. Every time you own something, you are responsible for it. So some people say, hey, look, this house costs $200,000. That's not what it cost. It cost $200,000 sticker price or asking price. It costs property tax, costs electrical bill, water tax bill, property tax bill. It costs roofing repairs, siding repairs. Washer and dryer goes. I had a house for 15 years. Everything broke in it at least once. Carpets got dirty, had to be replaced. Spackle, sheetrock. Fixed kitchen sinks, changed toilet bowls. What are we talking about? We're talking about the more you own, the more your mind has to work. The more you physically have to work. You have to work to take care of what you have. And the more complex things you have, the more you have to work and the more you have to think about them. I have to either get my windshield that got cracked today replaced like I did before. I've had this Jeep for 4 years. The windshield cracked a couple years ago, and I tried to get it repaired, like I had some glue and some sealant put in, and then I eventually got it replaced. And it was a little bit more than the average windshield to get replaced because my Jeep Renegade is a Trailhawk edition, which is a premium edition, not the basic edition. Anytime you upgrade from the basic and you go a higher level up, it's more complex. And I was willing to deal with the trade-off because I wanted some electronics in the vehicle. But thus, because like the windshield has like water sensors on it and different things, lane control and different things like that, the windshield was like, I don't know, $500-$600 to get it replaced versus an average windshield, maybe a couple $100, depending on your car and your car size. So I thank God that I'm at this place in life where I live simple, where something like that doesn't totally destroy my day. Now, it may seem like a small thing. You got a cracked windshield. So some people say, Sam, that's a small thing. Some people have cancer. Some people are faced with life-threatening issues, and I agree. And I said that to myself today. And I know some people who are suffering through life right now. But remember this, guys. Remember this. It's not the big issue that broke the camel's back. There's a saying that it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's not the big issue, it's the straw, it's the cracked windshield, it's the chip. It's you come home from work and you're probably working overtime, you're working on the weekends, you have side hustles because you maybe got a bigger apartment, you got a bigger house, you decide you wanted the hot lover, you got a hot girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse, you decide you wanted 2 kids, you decide you wanted 2 cars, you decide you wanted a vacation home. So what do you have? You have a complicated life. What do you need to do? You need to work harder. You need to think more. And what is it that'll break your back? The cracked windshield. Small issue. It's not a cancer. It's not, a big life-threatening issue. But it's a small thing that will destroy you. And especially if, you're like me, especially in my younger years, I used to like everything to be perfect. My outfit, I want it to be creased. I don't want it to get dirty. My car, I almost had that mindset too. Of your car, you put in your garage, you don't use it that much. You only use it to show off. But whatever you have is meant to be used, and whatever you used will break, will need to be maintained, and you are responsible for that. So keep it simple, so the less you are responsible for. The less you are responsible for, the more you can enjoy the simple things in life. I was able to put that out of my mind, even though I'm looking at it right now, so it's not totally out of my mind. A small little crack, probably about 2 inches, can totally change your day, can change your outlook on life. When you have too much stuff in your life. I don't have too much stuff in my life. It's the only thing that kind of really didn't make me get upset. And as I get older, I kind of just have learned to live with imperfections. Like right now, my phone, the screen is cracked. My phone screen's cracked, my windshield is cracked on my car, and I have peace. Because pretty much, look, I'm living such a simple life that whatever I have, I can either dispose of it or I can just deal with it, or I'm not impressing society. Like I thought about that today. I was, after work, I'd walk to get some salad and fixins at the supermarket. And I saw people, coming home from work and stopping at the supermarket. And, they were all dressed up. Of course, I understand that because I used to love to get dressed up. I worked in an office. I understand the whole culture and you got to do it. But I looked at myself oddly for a minute, like I had an out-of-body experience. And I said, man, I'm really living like an anti-culture, anti-society lifestyle. I mean, I really don't get dressed up anymore. I don't even have dress codes. I don't have dress clothes. I just have basically some tank tops, a couple hoodies, no underwear, a couple pair of socks. I got a couple pair of socks. You know why. And I just said, man, it's really odd living a simple life in today's modern society in America, in most places. Look, if you go on the rural country lands, it's not odd. But I don't like rural country lands. I like to be in, nice areas, populated areas. But it's an interesting dynamic, the hustle and bustle of life, dressing up, doing your hair, just being all done up in society standard. And when you're all done up and you have a nice outfit on, you go through and you spill coffee on your shirt in the morning for work, that's enough to make you get really upset about life. I remember those days. Now, if I spill coffee on my shirt, I'm not happy about it, but it doesn't bother me. Cracked windshield, not happy about it, doesn't bother me. Cracked phone, not happy about it, but it doesn't bother me. Why? Because I don't have the straw that breaks the camel's back. I'm trying to live so simple that I can let a lot of stuff go that used to really just put me over the edge. Does that mean everyone should live like me? No. Look, guys, everyone has to figure out their own life. But what I'm trying to tell you is every time you go away, or every time you upgrade from basic, you upgrade your worries, your problems, your burdens. I remember there was a season of my life where I leased a Range Rover, and I kind of did it to impress a girl. Sometimes we get stuff to impress people. It's true. And as soon as I kind of leased it, because I started, maybe like let me get out of debt and start getting my life together, and I was just getting there. And then as soon as I leased, I felt like I took a step back. I immediately felt buyer's remorse, but I made the decision I had to live with it. That's part of life. And so I had the car for a couple of years. I paid off the lease. But I remember when I leased this Range Rover, and I had took it for an oil change. You can take it to the dealership for an oil change. I think the first couple are free, and they'll actually even give you a free rental car because you're paying so much for an overpriced luxury vehicle that, they pander to you. They may try to make your experience very enjoyable because you're paying more than the average consumer. And the dealership was very nice. I used to feel very important going to the dealership. There was a pool table in there. It was very fancy. But I remember, I didn't want to go to the dealership. I didn't want to put up with getting a rent-a-car and that whole process. And I had to go, at that time I was working in an office. So it's too much aggravation. In the morning, I got to come in late to work. So I said, I'm going to take this Range Rover to the Valvoline Quick Lube Express. So I took it in there, and at least at that time, I said, no, we can't do an oil change on this. This type of car, you got to go to the dealership. And I said, why? And they go, because it's not a basic car. It's a luxury car, and some of them, we just don't change oil. We don't want to be liable. More stuff comes with more liability. But that little thing like that was like another light bulb moment for me. The more complicated car, the more complicated the repairs, the more complicated the maintenance. I mean, again, even my Jeep Renegade, I have the premium edition. There's some features on here that cost more money to get repaired versus the basic edition. Now, again, sometimes the higher trim is worth it because you want a sunroof, you want certain electronics. But there's a trade-off for that. Every time you go away from simple, there's a trade-off. What's the trade-off? Higher expense financially and mentally. Financially, because it's going to cost more to repair or to maintain. And mentally, because it's a burden to think about, to worry about. To take off work early because you got to attend to. Why do I stay simple? I say that, what rings in my mind? I remember when I met the girl I was trying to impress, I had like a paid off Jeep Compass. I like that car. And when I met the girl, I was driving that car. But I don't know, something got in me. I'm being honest with you. So I upgraded my car. And then when I brought it to see the girl to impress her, she said, Sam, would you change your car? I said, yeah. Like, I was all excited. I thought, she'd be very impressed. And she was an older lady. She was a MILF, still hot. Very hot. So there was a guy last night, God bless him, Jay. One of my new viewers, he left like a poetry thing on one of my video comments. And it was like basically this story that this woman was dating a snake. And she started to complain about the snake. And the snake said back to her, silly woman, you knew all along I was a snake. And I said, that's true. And I said, you could say the same thing about a man. You were horny. You wanted the hot girlfriend. You dated her. You married her. You got a divorce. You feel she manipulated you. You feel like she's using your children as leverage. You knew she was trouble the minute you saw her. You probably said to her, you're trouble. But you still decide to go through with her. Men and women both play the game. And then when it ends in a disaster, they blame each other. But back to the story, I got this, and also I want to say too, love and respect to anyone who's been abused or hurt. I don't want to claim to know or speak to everyone's issue because there's a lot of pain there and I appreciate that. And I don't wish that on anyone. But I see some troll, and I think she's a young person, okay? Young person, supposedly she has some disability or some surgery. She goes around blabbing about it. But she is a negative mind. I don't know if she's been abused or whatever. It doesn't matter. At a certain point, if you're a troll, okay, and if you're nasty and your whole life is based on, talking about other people or trying to uncover other people, what did you have surgery on? What is your nature of your disability? Why can't you work? Why can't you do this? There's some people that use excuses. Okay. But again, the only reason I'm even addressing this is because I just see this lady throughout YouTube. She's nasty. Young person, too. I think I'm not even going to say it, but all I can tell you is a lot of times the snake or the wolf comes disguised as a sheep, disguised as an innocent cat. In the scripture, it says the devil doesn't come disguised as Freddy Krueger. It comes disguised as an angel. Okay. Never date a girl with angel wings tattooed on her back. Oh, you're in for trouble then, guys. But back to the story. So I was playing the game. I take accountability. I don't blame other people. I take accountability. I upgraded my vehicle or I did whatever. In life, you got to take accountability. You screwed up. Not everyone's fault all the time. Okay? Fucking people. All right, let's stay positive, Sam. But either way, it's one of my mistakes in life, out of many. But I push forward by the grace of God. So I upgraded my vehicle to impress this girl. And I brought her to her house. And I thought she'd be like real impressed. And again, she was a MILF, so she'd been through life. Even though she took care of herself, she's beautiful. And she liked the finer things, I could tell. But she also was a level down to earth. And so I brought this new car. I was like, all dressed up. I was she gonna feel impressed today. And she goes, Sam, what'd you do? You upgrade your car? I said, yeah. And she goes, okay, well, I'm glad for you. She goes, but I like simple. And right there, I was like, it was a confirmation what I already knew was that I made a mistake. And that's okay. Look, sometimes in life we make mistakes. We make mistakes. And in that moment, I knew I just got caught in my mind. There was some lady at the park today. She had a very simple car. I don't even know what it was. This is a piece of junk, but it was simple, clean. But she had a bumper sticker on it. And I liked the bumper sticker. I never saw this before. It said, everything's in your head. Everything's in your head. It's all in your head. I said, that's an interesting bumper sticker. That's all it said. It didn't say Trump 2020. Okay. Some of you people with mental issues. Come on. All right, let me stay positive. But I knew at that moment, when the girl said back to me, I like it simple. And look, she was playing a little bit of game too, because she liked finer clothes. She liked to get dressed up. But I think she also liked the balance to the fact that she was caught in her own head. She was caught in her own mind. She couldn't get out of the entanglement of the society norms, of the insecurities. Behind every, trying to impress someone is an insecurity. I don't even know if it's a girl, because on YouTube, you don't know if it's a girl, if it's a guy that's stalking you, you don't know who it is. But I had some girl the other day comment on my channel, whatever, making judgments on me. Really, she liked me, but she was saying, what I could do better as far as, how I move, how I pose. She was like, just be natural. And it could be a dude, I don't know. But here she was. She had a filtered profile picture with makeup, with fake hair. She looked terrible. If it was even her, it's probably some dude. But I say, don't tell me, how to look. Look at your picture is totally fake. It's at the angle, where you look hot, but in real life you look like crap. Right now, if I get up, I show you my ass. I got a wide ass. But guys, I'm not giving you, this ain't like a sex, this ain't like a makeup tutorial, guys. This is real life, okay? So, if I'm trying to look a little smooth, let me look smooth. You look like crap with your filtered profile. I know that don't look like you. I remember some girl online when we first started Facebook. She had this profile picture look like Ashanti. Back in the day when they were with Murder Inc. and Ashanti was hot. In real life, she looked like Precious. Okay, big chicken. I'm not mad at the big girls, but total deception. And she don't tell me I'm fake. Come on. Back to the story. Keep it simple, guys. And for my girls too. You want to wear makeup? Keep it simple. Why? Because eventually the guy gonna see you without the makeup. And my guys out there, keep it simple. Why? Because look, eventually, she ain't gonna care anyway. And if she don't like you, she's not gonna like you. I remember we had a friend growing up. Again, I grew up. Well, let me tell you a story. So this was in middle school. This is right when you really start the peer pressure. Some of the liberals, I will say I disagree. They put all this pressure we have to do pre-K. Pre-K, you don't know anything, guys. You don't even remember pre-K. Okay? Where you need real schooling is middle school. When you hit 11, 12, 13, that's when you start to get your hormones kicking. That's when you start to make different decisions based on peer pressure and everything else. Pre-K, you don't even remember what block you put where. Okay, come on, guys. But I remember in middle school, I don't know what it was, 12, maybe, something like that. And my mom had bought me a new pair of basketball sneakers. And I grew up middle class, and I would say I always had anything I wanted. My mom always worked, but my mom was a single mom. My father paid child support, but my mom was a single mom. She worked at the supermarket, and she worked a couple odd jobs. And at that time, I remember she was working the supermarket, but she was looking for another job. So, again, I always had everything I wanted. Middle class, grew up in a nice neighborhood. But I remember she had got me a pair of they were called Spalding sneakers. They were Walmart N1 sneakers at that time. And I remember I wore them to school. I wasn't thinking much of it because I was 12. I really didn't know, And I remember somebody teasing me, because my sneakers weren't Nikes. And I remember feeling embarrassed. And I remember then going home and saying, Mom, I don't want these sneakers. And I'm sure, my mom, she was raising 3 kids. She had her own issues. But, this one friend that we had, and we actually called him a snake because he was a snake. I hate to say it, but it's true. It is what it is. But, he would always, throughout, as even when we got older, he would always, undercut people. And I did my dirt, too. I played the game at times. I'm sure I hurt people at times. But I was never a bully. I wasn't, period. But I remember, this is why I'm sharing it with you. I remember throughout my life, at different times of my youth, I tried to act, a certain way. I tried to impress people. But I remember this one friend who would always like make comments like that. I had simple sneakers on. He made comments like that. And of course, like I defend myself, I go back and forth. But then I remember even as I got older and I got involved in church and this friend was still around, he knew me. And then like he was even upset like when I got involved in church. Like, he would mock me when I had certain sneakers on. He would mock me when I tried to be cool. And like he would mock me when I tried to improve my life. What's the story? Keep it simple and be yourself, because the people that don't like you, they'll never like you. Whether you wear Nikes, Spaldings, whether you're in the church or whether you're in the street. There are certain people in life that are just never going to like you, and they're instigators. They're instigators. They're instigators. An instigator operates off drama and negativity, and they're not your friend. They're no one's friend, and they've been like that since birth, period. They've been like that, and they're going to be like that since you're an adult. You'll meet them in middle school, they'll be like that in high school, and then you'll get older and they'll be the same way. And then in your 30s, they say, let's start over again. They're the same people. I don't even want to know. Like, I don't want to start over anymore. I'm done. Guys, you got to walk away from the people who try to complicate your life. This is what we're talking about. Not just about owning things, but also about relationships, everything. If you get involved with the insecure, if you get involved with the people who like drama, you're complicating your life big time. What's the number one cause of stress? Relationships. Number 2 is money. You can deal with a cracked windshield. You can, even if you don't have the money for it. If it's just you in a healthy place. If you're entangled in a relationship that's unhealthy, and if you got kids and if you got other burdens in life, that cracked windshield will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Why? Because you veered away from simple. You made your life very complicated. Didn't need to be that way. Didn't need to be that way. But we make mistakes. Believe me, I made the mistakes. I made the mistakes big time. A lot. And some things aren't mistakes. Some things are just you have to experience. So experience life. Experience all that you want. It's your life. Edwin, I don't know if you're still in here. What's the difference between Southwest Florida and Southeast culture? Southeast Florida is like a melting pot of different cultures. It's got a background of a Latin vibe, but also very mixed. It's got almost like an up north feel, but with a little bit Southern comfort, with a Latin vibe, Haitian vibe, a mixed culture. Southwest is pretty much different culture of white retirees, period. That's it. Is there anything wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. That's the difference, period. I prefer Southeast. Why? Just my preference. Some people like blue shirts, some people like black shirts. If I was to go to Southwest, which I have gone and made videos of, Marco Island and Naples, Florida are the best areas. In my opinion. This is my opinion. There's a saying in Florida, the further you go south, the more you get north. Meaning that the further you come in Florida south, especially in the coastal areas, the more it is like being up north. As far as the culture. But better. Better. Because you got a great temperature. Guys, it was a cold front today, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Come on, guys. You can't beat it. Come on. Now, look, Miami traffic's a disaster. So, try to avoid that. But look, hey, I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. You want me to deal with ShopRite? Snowstorms? No way, guys. Not going to happen. I'm done. I keep it simple. So if God forbid the day comes when I get laid off, I do side jobs. I get that question all the time. Because if I get laid off, which I have been in the past, I don't want to. I hope I never will. I have other sources of income. I have a cracked windshield. Other things come up in life that you're always going to have to pay for. You know who interrogates you the most? Unemployed. You know who interrogates you the most? Unemployed. You know who interrogates you the most? The depressed. How can someone who's not working, who's not in a good state mentally, tell you what to do? They can't. If anything, they're going to suck you into their drama. There's seniors smoking weed. Yep, I had a couple of those. I'm not mad if you're doing it. I'm not mad if you're doing it for medical reasons, okay? But come on, guys. Let's be honest. So keep it simple, guys. Why? Because it's only going to help you. Like I always say, I'm not trying to give you this grand speech about you trying to save humanity. Because you're going to have to ask yourself these questions, during the different times in your life. When it's time to get a new vehicle, when it's time to get a new house, when it's time to get into a relationship, you have to ask yourself these questions. And the questions is, what's going to make me suffer more? Just look at it from a survival perspective. Every time you make your life more complicated, you suffer more. You suffer more. You suffer more. How do I feel about Vegas? I think Vegas is a desert. It is a desert. I don't like it. I don't like desert. I like ocean. I'm not mad at Vegas. I respect Vegas. But it's a desert. Don't like desert. Okay. I like ocean. Florida is a peninsula surrounded by ocean. That's why I like Florida. Different culture, different vibe, different humidity, different climate, different environment. Again, if someone likes Nevada more than Florida, am I mad at them? I'm not mad at anyone, guys. I want everyone to live their best life however they want. So my perspective is I would never want to live in Nevada, not because I don't respect people who live there or respect Nevada itself, but I love tropical environment. Tropical environment means there's rain, there's humidity, and there's strong cultural Latino MILFs. I like that. That's why I'm in Southeast Florida. But environment matters, guys. Keep it simple in your life with your expenses so that you can live where you want, whether it's Nevada, Utah, Florida. Tony asks, how's my mother doing? My mother's getting old, man. And I talk to her every day. My sister, I got two sisters, always drama. Okay, especially one of them, always drama, always. Just like that friend that was a snake. I got sisters, they're always drama, man. And that's why I don't talk to them on a regular basis. I got love, I got respect. And I don't want anyone to suffer, but I'm not going to deal with bullshit. Because it's a full-time job to keep yourself, to keep yourself not from being depressed, to keep yourself not from being upset, not from giving into anger. To be happy is a full-time job, to be content. And some people don't want to work, and they not only want you to do the work of your life, they want you to do their work. I'm not going to play that game. I played that game for many years, Tony. So my mom's getting old, and as you get old, I thought about that with my car today. My car's got about 150,000 miles, 4 years old. The sunroof motor is breaking. I got a second crack on my windshield. As things get older, they break down. Like I said, my mom's in her early 70s. She got diabetes. She's overweight. Doesn't take care of herself well. She's a loving person, but she's breaking down. And you can't avoid that in life. That's why I tell you guys, seize the moments of your life. When you got the energy and you got the time, do what you want to do. Responsibly, do it. I got two sisters. Yeah. So, look, sometimes people question me too. I'm the only one of my siblings that works. I'm the only one of my siblings that's not on any type of drugs, whether it's prescription or whatever. I'm the only one of my siblings that don't blame my parents. Am I better than my siblings? No, I'm not. Have my siblings been there for me at times? So again, but I'm sharing, this is my life. This is my 100% truth facts. So people can say what they want. But the fact is, both of my siblings are on government assistance. They don't work. They've got issues. And that's what it is. It's always going to be drama there. One of them I could kind of vibe with, okay? And she's done some good things for me. The other one, look, I don't wish bad on, but just okay. And she's done some good things for me. The other one, look, I don't wish bad on, but just always nasty. Always. But either way, I keep it pleasant, but I just keep living my life. One of them understands that. The other one, I don't care what they understand. I got to do me. Just like my father. My father helped me out a lot in life, but making my life too complicated. Putting his responsibility for his own joy in life on me. That's not my responsibility, guys. I can't be, So, and I'm not mad. Look, if people don't work, look, they should still get basic services. Because I'm not for a living richest company. And they do get basic services, but they're still, so I don't want to see anyone destitute. And it's only going to make for more unstable society. You're not going to live a good life and have a gated communities and nice areas and not have social programs. You'd have civil unrest. So that's why I'm for UBI. Cut out all the bureaucracy of all the different like programs, people applying for different things a million times. I'm for basic healthcare. We're the richest country in the world. We print money. We're 22 trillion in debt. We give defense contractors $1 billion. There's a certain amount of society, always been like that, always will never work, will always be lazy, but some of them have legit issues. So look, and we subsidize farmers. We subsidize oil companies. We subsidize a lot of corporations. So look, I'm not trying to take money out of the people who are even lazy. Just look, a basic level of service of dignity for all humanity. I'm for that. So to me, I don't really care about that. I've crossed that road a long time ago in my mind. But I keep it simple by just, that's how I look at life. Politic-wise too. Like to me, everyone, just humanity. Why? Because even when you take care of like the lazy and like the bad, it makes for a better society. I keep it simple. Forget about like the over philosophizing. I believe the productive should be highly rewarded or more rewarded. I believe like, you have to have people functioning in life, but I believe on the basic level of service is basic, not like you're going to be living in luxury, but basic level of services for just everyone. And there's always going to be the ambitious. There's always going to be the willing to work. There's always going to be the productive. Like, I don't have to do DoorDash. I don't have to do YouTube. I do it. One is because I want to. Two is because I like independence. Like, I know plenty of people, like I said, my own family, that are subsidized by the government. They're not fully independent. One of them's in an unhealthy relationship because she's got to subsidize her lifestyle with another source of income, which is an unhealthy relationship. And the other one's subsidized by, another family member. So they all entrapped in each other. So I'll do what I got to do in life, not because I always want to, because I want my independence. I don't want to be on the hook to other people. That's how I look at life. I just keep it simple. You say, Sam, why should I work? I don't want to work. That's fine. Just keep it simple. If you work, you're going to have independence. If you don't, you're going to be dependent. If you're willing to deal with being dependent on others, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anyone, guys. I'm not. I'm really not. No, I love you, Cameron. You're a good person. You're consistent. You bring up good topics, man. You've proven yourself to be an honorable man. And, even if you disagree with me, I respect how you are, man. You're consistent. You're positive. I love you, man. Never forget it. All right, guys, I know I'm just jumping around because I'm trying to share my thoughts tonight, and then I'm just like reading the comments. I do want to go in order because I like to respect everyone that comes in here on positive and it puts the effort into leaving a comment. So I'll take a hydration break. I'll start from the top, and I'll read all the comments. I appreciate if you guys click the thumbs up button. If you like these videos, if they help, share the video, and subscribe if you're not. All right, top of the comments. Woohoo! Good to see you, brother, man. Shout out to Detroit. Savat. How you doing, Sam? Overall, I'm doing well. Like I said, I had a couple issues today, but nothing serious, and I have a lot to be thankful for. How are you, Tom? Hey there, Sam. Loving the message thus far. I love you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Stay positive. Keep your life simple. Tom, you're a young man in college. You got no kids. You've been through no divorces. Most people, listen to me, Tom. Most people in America, the richest country in the world, they would trade places. Most people would trade places with you to be a young man with no children, never been through a divorce, you got no mortgage. You can totally design your life. Totally. Now, you still got to do the work. You still got to, work, and you're willing to work. You work part-time and you go to school full-time, so I respect that. But you can basically, when you got no kids, no family, and you got a simple slate to start from, you can live anywhere you want. You can do anything you want to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? But all I'm trying to tell you is, I know like when you're young, you feel like the weight of the world is on you because you're not confident yet. You haven't experienced things as part of the night, and you're still like I was, you're still like trying to impress people. But, if you can get this early, get it early, that when you have a simple life, you have a lot more choices. This is why we keep it simple. Why? You have more choices. You have more empowerment. More complications. You got less choices. You're more controlled. That's why we keep it simple. Never forget it. Savat, interesting on the house. By the time you pay a house off, it's 3 times the price of the house. Possibly. But life changes a lot in 30 years if you get a standard 30-year fixed mortgage. And you haven't just paid off the mortgage. You got still recurring property taxes. How many renovations have you done? See, if you bought a house today for $10,000, if you bought a house today for $200,000 and then in 10 years it appreciates to $300,000, you didn't make $100,000. How many renovations did you pay? How much property taxes did you pay? How many repairs? How many, different things that what I know from experience is you probably, even if the house appreciated $100,000, you basically broke even. The counterpoint is you had to, if you're going to rent an apartment or live, you had to live somewhere. So if you have the responsibility and the money to make the repairs, to put the down payment, and you're willing to live in that area for at least 10 years, then it's worth it. But if you haven't held a job for more than 5 years, not worth it. Because, you damn sure are going to need to work. I remember someone came into work one day and they said they just bought a house and they were very happy and they kind of wanted to share it to not impress people, but to get some accolades or get some acknowledgement. Just like I was when I said I got this new car, this new Range Rover. I wanted to impress, this girl. So this lady came into work and she had said, she's very happy. She just closed on her house. And the manager said to her, "Oh, that's great. He's very excited." And the lady said, "Well, I can't believe how excited you are for me. That's great." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You're going to be one of my best workers now. You're locked in." She goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You got a 30-year mortgage, right?" She goes, "Yeah." "You got to work now." Again, you have to work no matter what, because even when you have no debt, you always got to have expenses. Expenses are food, car insurance, gas, entertainment. But there's a different mind. There's a different level of mental peace when you go to work, not because you have to, but because you need to and you want to. Not that you always want to, but you have options in life. So when you don't have that pressure on you, you have a different mentality, you have a different peace, different joy. So again, sometimes owning a house makes sense. Definitely. If you're going to raise kids, if you're going to be in a certain area for 20 years, definitely. No doubt. But sometimes it doesn't. It's individual. You have to, figure that out for yourself. But what I could tell you, whether you buy, rent, or nomad, keep it simple. Simple is relative to who you are and what you want, and experience whatever you want. All I'm trying to tell you is, the more complex car, the more complex the repair. The more complex the house, the higher the taxes. The more complex the relationship. Remember that relationship status in Facebook back in the day when when it said, are you single, married, or you could choose it's complicated. Whenever you would put it's complicated, that means you're in a stressful, unhealthy relationship. If your relationship is it's complicated, that's not good. If there was a relationship that said status that said I'm living simply and happy, you'd win. That's you for the win. Keep it simple, guys. Tom, every time something goes right in life and you're happy with things, something negative and time consuming has to burden things. You know what? There's a lot of truth in that. And I hate that because, I want things to always be good. But I think there is a level for whatever reason. I don't know. We didn't create the world. Sometimes people get mad at you because you can't answer everything or you can't make them happy. But you have to remember, guys, I didn't create the world. You didn't create the world. I can't be responsible for every way the world is. I try to make the world a better place by being my best self, by, spreading positive things, by sharing things, by working, earning, being independent, trying to, be a asset to society rather than a burden. But other than that, what else can I do, guys? And so there is a yin and a yang to life. That's like Asian philosophy. Shout out to my Asian MILFs. A yin and a yang, meaning a negative and a positive, a blessing and a burden. There is a level of truth to that. It's true, Tom. Just because your issue isn't as big as cancer or something major, that doesn't mean it isn't a big issue to you in your life. That's true. I remember last year, good job, Tom. Good insight, brother. I remember last year I had to get my brakes done on my Jeep Renegade. And I don't know what that was, like $800 job, right? So, you know, the main part that stressed me out is that I had to give my car to the dealership for a full day. And I had to, like, I was walking to Starbucks, going back there. And I hate when someone else is in my car. I like to be in control. I don't like to control people, but in my own personal life, I like to be in control. And so there was just a lot of mental anxiety there. And I remember one guy, like, leaving a comment on my video when I was talking about, like, getting my brakes done and giving my car, like, it's stressing me out. And he was like, well, why are you stressed out? Like, it could be worse in life. You could have this. I said, yeah, I know that. I'm just sharing. Like, it's upsetting me. So that's true, Tom. Edwin, hey, Sam. Hope you're doing well. I'm very thankful. How are you? I always wanted to ask. Oh, yeah, I answered that, brother. Thank you, Edwin. I hope I helped you. Elizabeth, good to see you, Elizabeth. Tom, powerful message, Sam. Keep in being you. Good job. I love you, Tom. Tom, loving the story as well. Thank you. I don't know which one I shared. I just try to share it with my life. Thank you. Tony, the girls that torment other kids in middle school end up working in HR. Yeah, and the guy and the men and the boys that torment girls and other guys, they end up working at Walmart, or they end up working at T-Mobile. So, guys, there's good and bad girls and guys, and there's nothing wrong with working at Walmart or T-Mobile. But, look, guys, nasty people, doesn't matter if they work at T-Mobile or corporate America. Nasty people are nasty people. Just don't get involved with them. And good, decent people, I don't care if they're a greeter at Walmart or a CEO. If they're good and decent, keep them in your life. If the relationship is simple, understandable, and reciprocal, keep them in your life. If it's negative, nasty, and drama, X them out of your life. They will be spiteful. They will be spiteful. They will be spiteful. There's a reason people come. The psychopaths that thumbs down my videos, they just haven't woken up yet. Even though it's 7:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But they come back in because I blocked them and they're spiteful. You're never going to avoid that. That's just who they are. That's like when you cut off some people, you have to get a restraining order because they don't know how to say no to the relationship. They don't know how to deal with the fact it's over. I'm done. You're still going. I'm done. Okay. And that's why, like, guys, when someone breaks up with you, just let it go. Let it go. Now, I know there is some philosophy out there. We'll go chase after them. No. You'll be chasing the rest of your life. You better get a hybrid vehicle because you're going to need a lot of fuel efficiency than how much chasing you're going to do. Don't chase, guys. You'll be chasing the rest of your life. Love and respect. Diana Hart, thank you. James, hey Sam. Oh, yeah, I've read that. Good to see you, James. Cameron, I love you, Cameron. Tony, I answered that too. Tony, thank you for the question, brother. Edwin, what parts do you move around the most in Southeast? I don't want to say that because I want to keep a level of privacy. Where do you live? Where do you move around most? So let me ask you the same thing. Where do you live? Where do you move around the most? Which street do you live on? I mean, there's some things of privacy I want to keep. I've shared with you guys multiple times. I don't mean to be rude to you. If you're asking in a sincere way, I apologize because I don't understand. But guys, I want to keep a level of my privacy. I mean, I share my life on YouTube enough. I have to keep some privacy. Savant, $5 super chat. Brother, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the positivity. Thank you for the show of appreciation and the tip. Savant, thank you, brother. Keep pushing forward. Stay positive. And I thank you. And I appreciate you. Thank you. Love and respect. Let's take a hydration break. Thank you, Savant, man. Love to you, brother. Cameron, KISS, meaning, I guess, that's like an acronym, meaning like an abbreviation type thing. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. I remember when I was looking at a home base about a year ago in Florida, a small RV lot cost $25,000. There was a viewer that left a simple comment. He said, Sam, just remember to keep it simple. And there's been times I've looked at home bases, and look, eventually a home base does have some value, but there's an entanglement. Whether you get a manufactured home, an RV lot, or a single family, there's an entanglement. And if you don't believe me, go look at all the requirements for a loan. Or even if you're going to pay cash, look at all the things you're going to have to go through. Buying and selling property is an entanglement. It is. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing for everyone. But as a single person, someone who wants to keep his flexibility, and I'm young and I'm healthy, which all that could change, and life changes, so it may not always be like this. But I don't want the entanglement. I looked the other day at a home base just because I still do look around. And I said, wow, well, what would it cost me if I got into it and how entangled would I be? And I started to do the research and it was just one thing after another. Flood insurance, HOA, utility hookups, lock neighbors. And the more and more I researched it, the more and more it was getting complicated. And the more and more like my stomach was turning in knots. And I said, I can't do this again. I just can't. Again, I'm not trying to say this. My life is for everyone. I'm just sharing my thoughts. I don't want to complicate my life, man. I want to try to keep it as simple as possible. Because if I was getting ready to close on a property and I just got a cracked windshield, look, again, it would just bother me more. And there's only a matter of time before the spaghetti stain makes its way on your shirt. There's only a matter of time before your sunroof stops working. It's always going to be something. Why do we keep it simple? Because it's always going to be something. Savat says, I'm looking to buy a condo in Florida. Not cheap. It isn't. Look, the economy is at an all-time high as far as stock market, as far as real estate prices. So you're buying high, but the stock market could keep going up. Real estate could keep going up. No one knows. So the question I would tell you, Savat, because I owned a condo for 15 years. Okay. If you have already established a career in Florida, or if you've already gotten a job in Florida, and you've been working in a couple years, and you know you like Florida, you know you have somewhat of a stable industry, like example, you were a nurse, and you were in the healthcare industry, and you've been in Florida, and you know the area you want, then I would say you buy. If you've never been to Florida, and if you haven't established a job yet here, I would say don't buy yet, rent. That's my opinion. What should you do? Whatever you want. Never forget that. But it's not easy to get in and out of property. Oh, you have your own semi-truck. So if you're in trucking, James, man, $199, man. Thank you, James. Shout out to Arizona if that's what you got, man. I appreciate you, James. Love to you, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you, James. I appreciate your show of support, man. Appreciate Savat, your owner-operator. Check out my man on YouTube called KB the Trucker. He's a truck driver from the Bronx. Good guy. He's an owner-operator, too. Good story. Used to deal drugs, and then he got into truck driving, saved his life. And now he's an owner-operator. But it's a lot of, then, when being an owner-operator of a truck, a lot of overhead. And while like KB the Trucker, he's honest. Like last year, he didn't make a profit. He lost money. Owner-operator, as an owner-operator, owning a semi-rig is just like owning a house. You're responsible for the maintenance, not your trucking company, not Schneider Trucking. So, you have, thank you, James. I appreciate you too. Savat, if you own a semi, and if you're in a trucking industry, you have to do more than be a trucker. You have to be a project manager. Every time you have to be a mechanic. You have to be a truck driver, project manager, mechanic, CEO, accountant. You're responsible for a lot. You add that to the fact that if you're in an industry, if you're a trucker, and if you're not going to be if you don't have several trucks and you're just stationary, if you're going to be on the road most of the time, I would definitely say don't buy a condo. In my opinion, I support whatever you want to do if it's below your means. But, if you're on the move all the time, guys, you don't want to buy it because you're never going to be there. Now, if you say you want to buy it and rent it out, hey, look, just be careful because, again, I want you to do whatever you want, but you got to really think about that. How much are you really going to be in that house? So those are my thoughts, Savant. And I appreciate you, Pat. Good to see you, man. Shout out to San Francisco, man. Thank you for the love. All right, back to the comments. I'm sorry, guys. I'll go back. Tony. Oh, yeah, I read that. Thank you, brother. Cameron. Yeah, I read that too. Tony. Walmart. Yeah, a lot of corporations do get subsidized. That's true. We touched on that. Thank you, though. Cameron, obviously, the people that need... Yeah, no, I got you. You clarified yourself. You're a good person, Cameron. I respect you, and I got love for you, man. Kareem, what's up, man? Yo, Sam, what's up? I'm doing the best I can. How are you? I just found your page a couple of days ago. Well, welcome, brother. Inspirational without doubt. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I just drove, from Central Jersey to Orlando. Oh, so Love to you, Kareem, man. Safe travels to you, man. Yeah, well, then if you drove from... And I think, look, guys, if you have the opportunity, drive from New Jersey to Florida, or drive to wherever you want to go. Drive from Florida to Arizona. because you get a different experience when you drive and you walk around areas versus if you just fly in an Uber. Like one thing I learned when I started, like, I grew up in New Jersey, but when I started to explore New York City, it was a big difference between like taking a train in and then just taking a taxi everywhere, the subway, versus like when I started to like get in shape, all I would do is walk. I would take the train into Penn Station in Manhattan, and then I would walk downtown. I'd walk all the way to Wall Street. I'd walk over the bridge into Brooklyn, and then I'd walk all the way back, all the way up to Harlem. And through all those different, and New York and Manhattan and the different boroughs, there's so many different cultures even within there. Like somebody asked me, what's the difference between Southeast Florida and Southwest culture? And within New York City, you got so many different cultures all mixed in. When you walk the entire city, you get such more of an experience to evaluate, how you like things, what's good, what's not. And so, like, it's the same thing. Like, if you just took a plane from Newark, New Jersey into Orlando Airport, and then you Ubered to your hotel room, you would never really experience, like, driving through Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. There's a totally different experience. There's a totally different experience driving from Jacksonville, Florida to Miami. And when you live simple and you don't have a lot of obligations, you have the liberty, you have the extra time to enjoy the journey more. That's the blessing of the simple life. You can enjoy the simple things. What are the simple things? Taking a road trip and not being in a rush. That's a blessing. Never forget it. Good job. Tony says, welcome, Cream. Living good. What's up, man? What's up, Sam? How you doing? I'm doing the best I can, man. Pound emoji back to you. What do you think about buying 2-3 plex so you can live one out, rent in Florida when you're older? Me personally, my personality would not do good with that. Why? I don't want to live next to someone that I'm doing business with. When you rent out a multifamily, which my mom had a multifamily at one point in her life, I think it's part of the reason that caused a divorce. Even though it was a blessing for her, it kept us out of poverty for a level. But when you own a multifamily, number one is you are now a project manager, a contractor, an accountant, you're a business owner. And you're in business with the people living right next to you because they're your tenants. They're part of your business. You have to show good customer service. And, if they're negative and nasty, like the trolls who come in and thumbs down, welcome. You just woke up. I know. What if you rent, once you rent something out, you're locked in. I knew a couple people that rented out a multiplex, and once in a while you get a bad apple. And then you have to go to court and you have to get them out. It's this whole entanglement. Now, I don't want that. I'd rather just live simple. I'm not saying real estate is all bad, and I'm not saying it's a bad investment for everyone. Some people make out good. Me personally, I just don't have the personality, and that's not something I want. I think like when you're middle-aged, you kind of know your personality. And I know what I like and what I don't like. I don't like real estate. I like campgrounds. I don't like renting either. But like going to a campground is like renting or free boondock. I don't want to be entangled in real estate. I don't want to be married to a tenant. When a tenant signs a year lease, you're married for a year. And the only way to get out of the marriage is you have to go to court. And you have to call the cops. That's what it is to evict someone. So I don't want to be married. I want to be single for life. I want no commitments. I want less liability. But again, that does not mean that everyone should live like me, because there's different personalities. Everyone has their own fingerprint. So I don't want to persuade you to be me. I want you to be you. But I'm saying for me personally, too complicated. And I just don't like it. Good question. Living good. If you put in the work now in a Plex, you can live with the 10's money. Just want to hear your thoughts. Too complicated. It's like saying, if you get married and have kids young, you can enjoy your life when you're older. Not true. You know how many Mills had sex with? They said they wish they never had kids, even though the kids were the best things that happened to them. Once you have kids, they're there with you for life. Once you have a tenant, you're always going to need to have tenants. And so, I get a little bit fired up because it's just not for me. And I respect you living good. And if that's something you want to do, I support you because I want you to live your best life. But I get upset. And that's how I know, like, it's not for me, because I get upset about it. I'm not getting upset at you. And I'm not trying to, I don't like it. I get upset about it. I get all, so that's how I know for me it's not good. Like when I hear like Sam, I can get 50% off a state park when I'm 65 years old, that's thumbs up for me, because I never have to take care of the property. I never have to deal with a tenant. If my neighbor that comes in next to me is acting up in their RV, I just go to the next spot. And, right now, if you stayed at a state park for a month, it's $800. So if you were 65, I'd be paying $400 a month. That includes all utilities. It includes showers, laundry. I'll take that for the win. Because let me tell you something. If you have a complex, even if you've got tenants, you're probably going to spend at least $400 a month on something. So I don't want all that obligation. I don't want all that responsibility. Again, I'm not saying my way is the right way always for everyone. That's how I feel. Jay Barry, shout out to my fellow Floridian. Spent the whole day untangling myself. Here we go. From a female acquaintance. Thank you for sharing. Exhausting. It damn sure is. Guess I have to change my number again. Change your number as much as you need to. I did it a few times in the course of 1 year, and it was worth every time. So that's the only way sometimes. So love to you. Because look, the people that I blocked, they still come back on my channel, even though they know I'm over with them. If I could, I would change my IP address so they can never come back. But YouTube wants the revenue. They want them to click on the channel no matter what, because for YouTube, it's a win. For me, I work 3 jobs, so I never have to be obligated to a negative person that wants to control me for subscribership. I want to respect and show love to everyone, but if I don't like someone, I don't have to beg for their viewership, because I want independence. That's why I have different side hustles, because I just don't want to be obligated to people that are nasty. They'll control you till the day you die, and I don't want that. I don't want it. Savat, man, thank you again, brother, and best of luck to you on your journey. Jay Burt, she just won't stop. It takes 2 to tango. Behind every person who says the other person is harassing them, abusing them even, if it continues for a period of time, it takes 2 to tango. Because if she's in your life or he's in your life, because you allow it. Drama doesn't just come in your life. You permit it, you allow it, or you instigate it. So again, there's exceptions, but if you have the opportunity to change your number, to disassociate with, and you haven't done it, it's on you. Never forget it. Savat, I'm looking to buy. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Thank you for sharing, brother. Yeah, you also about the semi-truck. We shared about that also. Good comment, man. James, thank you again, man. I appreciate you, man. Love to you. God bless you, man. Thank you very much. Savat, good comment again about the owner-operator. We talked about that. James, we appreciate you sharing your journey with us. Thank you, James. Appreciate you, man. Pac, what's up, man? San Francisco. Appreciate you, Pac. You got a positive mind, man. You're a positive person. Pac Live immigrated to America from a war-torn country, Cambodia. I know I'm probably not saying that right, but you know what it is. And made a way for himself. He's got his own burdens in life. He's got a couple kids. He's got a camper. He's changed jobs recently because he's trying to make his life more simple. Because look, he's got a bunch of kids. He's had a bunch of stuff happen in his life, but he's a positive person. But he values trying to make life simpler as you get older. There's a reason older people want to downsize, because they want things simple. They're exhausted with life. But there's a reason why a lot of older people don't get to downsize. Why? Because they don't have the energy, they don't have the time, or they can't get out of the entanglements of relationships. That's the truth. Or their social security is too low. They have to have others enable them. So true. That's why I tell you guys, if you're young or middle-aged, work. Build into the system so you don't have to depend on an ungrateful family member to subsidize your life. Never forget it. Savat, made some money in the stock market too. Well, I'm happy for you. I've lost more money in the stock market than I made, but I didn't play the indexes. I played the single stocks. It's my own fault, but I'm happy for you. And pay off your debt. Put a year's worth of savings in an emergency fund in a savings account. And if you want to play with the rest, however you want to play with it, whether it's stocks, real estate, or business, all the best to you. James, hey Sam baby, what's up, James? How's your rash, brother? James, Sam baby, it was a really hot girl at the gym today. Made my day. Well, let her make your day. Let her make you work out stronger. But I tell you right now, the gym is basically like the strip club. And what happens in the strip club? Nothing positive. Okay. So have I dated some strippers? Yep. Have I dated a girl from the gym? No, but I know a guy's dating one right now, and I think it's going to end in total disaster. So never date a girl you meet at the gym. Never. The gym is nothing but the strip club disguised as a workout center. So what I can tell you is this. Use that attraction to make you lift more weights, but never use that attraction to meet them in a parking lot and exchange numbers. Why? Because you're going to end up like my man Jay Bird. Total disaster. Now he's got to change his number twice in the course of 1 year. Total disaster. Back. Oh, everyone. Buy Libyan corn from Facebook. I'm not buying that, but I'm not mad at anyone who wants to do whatever they want. Savat. Pack loud. Time to buy gold stocks. I'm not mad at anyone. I can't give advice. I've lost more money than I made in stocks. Pack. No gold coin stock, real gold. Every time someone wants to tell you about stocks, ask them how much they have made over their entire lifetime. Not last year, not in the last 2 years. Since the time they started doing stocks till today, most people have lost money. Statistics prove it. So if someone says, yeah, like I made $100,000 in stocks last year, maybe they did. But since the age of 20, maybe they lost $300,000. So they're still in the hole $200,000. So guys, like people lie about their penis size, people lie about their brokerage fund. So never forget that too. Good job. Pack, never buy paper gold. I hear you. Savat. Harder to liquidate physical gold. That's true. Pack, laughing. Not really. The gold, you guys talking heavy about the commodities. I'm not mad at that. Everything in coal bank. Pack, 0.99% of gold per ounce. Savat. Jung, 3 times ETF. Bought when gold was 1080, sold it at 1500 at press of a button. That's true. Stocks are more liquid, but sometimes when something's more liquid, you'll sell emotionally and long term you'll lose. I've done that. So, but I love liquidity. I love in and out. So I'm all for that. But sometimes a hard asset, the value of it is you can't get in and out of it. And that's a good thing because when you get emotional, you can't just get out of it. So liquidity has a lot of value. I love liquidity and I'm very similar to you. But I do want to balance the conversation with the value of a hard asset is when you get emotional, you know, maybe it's good that you can't get in and out of it. So there's pros and cons to everything. I tend to lean on more liquidity. I'm with you. I just want to be balanced in giving perspective. Pack, good job, brother Savat. The Big Easy. Hello, man. Sunglass face emoji to you. Jay Bird, thanks, Sam. I got love for you. You reaffirm what I already learned. All the answers are inside you, brother. Never forget it. The Big Easy. Peace, love, and prayers to all. I like that comment. Came on. Just got to get happy ending massage. I'm not mad at that. Don't forget, though, Bob Kraft came down to Florida, owner of the Patriots. He got a happy ending massage and he got locked up. But he got out of jail. Why? Because he got a high-paid defense lawyer. Did he get out of jail? Yes. Did the ladies of the did the immigrant ladies from that own the massage parlor, did they get arrested and their shop taken away from them? Yes. Huh. The people didn't have money. Who over here working hard, giving a blowjob to the rich, successful guy, they got locked up. They got their business taken away. Robert Kraft won another Super Bowl. That is the irony of life, guys, so never forget it. All right, guys. Love to you. Peace to you. I shared all I could. Savat, thank you for the super chat. James, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for everyone who left a comment. Thank you for everyone who clicked the thumbs up button. Thank you for your love and support, and God bless you. And remember, keep it simple.